Narito ang programang totoong-totoo, Tambayang sa DWIZ. Programang magliliwanag ng ilang mahahalagang mga issue. Tambayang sa DWIZ. At ngayon, narito na sila upang maghatid ng saya sa bawat Pilipino. Sa programang Tambayang sa DWIZ.
Magandang tanghali. Welcome to Tambayang kasama sa himpilan. Attorney Awesome Ahmed Paglinawan. Ako po si Trixie Cruz Angeles, DWIZ text line 0918-350-2378. Ulitin po natin, if you want to comment para dun sa mga nakikinig sa atin sa radyo, 0918-350-2378. We're also on Facebook Live and YouTube live streaming. Don't forget to like and share and comment lang po because we love to hear from you and we love to hear your feedback. Good morning, good afternoon pala. Hi Ahmed, how are you?
Hello, okay lang. Bad trip.
Ha?
Bad trip, as usual.
Bakit? Kasi naligo ka?
Oo.
Iyan yung problema ni Attorney Awesome.
Tapusin na natin para makawin na.
Isa sa topics na in-announce natin today is yung term na maharlika. Kasi,
Maharlika? Bakit? Anong pag-usapan natin?
Last year, the President was probably thinking off the top of his head. Sabi niya, alam niyo, tama si President Marcos, dapat palitan natin pangalan ng Pilipinas, gawin natin maharlika.
Nag-ano lang yan. Nag-isip ng malakas, yun nga. Thinking aloud.
Yes. So I don't think the President meant it to be that serious because if he did, then meron na yung proposal sa Kongreso. Or would that require a constitutional amendment?
Yes.
So
absolutely.
Kasama na yan sa mga constitutional reforms. Pero even dun sa committee na dinesignate niya noon to study federalism, hindi po nabanggit
dapat yung kasama yan doon sa historical committee.
So ang nakikita natin dito is that the President was correct, thinking off the top of his head.
Para lang yung ako, sinasabi ko, sama ko, totoo yun, pero yung hindi ako naliligo, ganyan, hindi naman kailangan sabihin yun, pero hindi naman siya seryoso doon, pero ako hindi talaga ako naliligo. Pero ganun yung, that is the kind of thing that he did.
He does. Or he does. He still actually does. Makikita nyo, kunwari, pagka nagsasalita siya, tapos may follow-up siya. O kaya meron siyang, I would like to talk to the people. Katulad ng ginawa niya dito with MWSS issues. Talagang pinulsige niya. Tapos he would bypass his own spokes.
It will go on more than a day.
Yes.
It will recur. So, yan yung seryoso. But anyway, what about this Maharlika? Who are the
Maharlikans?
Who are the RevGov people of Maharlika?
Hindi. Ang lumalabas kasi in the course of the discussions that the President triggered, maraming lumalabas na iba-ibang misconceptions about what this actually means. Kasi ang sinasabi ng iba sa akin is, this is a noble class, tayo ay mga Maharlikans. In fact, there are some people who believe that this was the name of the Philippines before. Okay? Let's just, stop right there. There's no record of that.
Okay, kung yan ang paniniwala nila. But anyway, why do you want to return to that name?
Assuming that it ever was. No, but that's what we're trying to do here. Let's separate fact from fiction. Conception from misconception.
Okay, kahit naman kasi hindi fact yung Maharlika na yan and everything that they say about it, there might be some benefit to their proposal. But what is it?
Yun na nga
what is beneficial about changing our country's name at this time?
No, hiwalayin natin yung changing the name to what it means. Let's start first with what it means.
Sige.
Kasi nga hindi hindi nagtutugma. So naiintindihan ko, actually, there are some countries who have changed their names. Pag nagbago sila, let's say, ng form of government.
No,
diba?
usually it's from colony to independence.
So, Myanmar. It changed with the change of form of government. Diba?
Because kasi dati, they are a junta, they are a dictatorship, a military dictatorship. And that is a holdover from the Americans when the Americans conducted their communist war there, which is completely meaningless, and therefore for a long time, it was actually an American country.
Yun.
So when they were emancipated from America, They call themselves Myanmar.
Yun. So, later on, Cambodia, when it was under the communist regime,
communist
called itself the Republic of Khmer. Diba? And naiintindihan natin yung Khmer because yun yung kultura nila. Diba? The ancient Khmer civilizations na it was an entire kingdom that spanned Cambodia, parts of Thailand, Laos,
have their own people, but they were closely interacting with Khmer, and they were interacting with those people.
So we see that meron naman din silang pinagkukuhaan ng pangalan nila. Now, Maharlika was proposed, or at least the president brought it up. He didn't propose it seriously kasi otherwise he would have taken some action.
He also proposed to kill the rice smugglers.
There's that. There's the way also the president triggers discussions.
That's the way he talks.
So, ang ano dito is, so I decided to look into it and find out where it comes from. It appears that there are many opinions here. For example, si Dr. Zeus Salazar of the History Department dito sa sa UP says it comes from a Sanskrit word, Mahardika. And it meant freeman. Basically what it means. So, hindi ito maginoo, ha? This is not the nobility class. This is not a datu.
Aren't we freemen? So,
not in the sense of the pre-colonial Filipino. Kasi, ang freeman nun, kasi sabi ni William Henry Scott, what he did was, he put together lahat ng mga writers who did documentation ng pre-Hispanic Philippines. Ang iisa lang ang writer na talagang explicitly nagbanggit ng word na Maharlika. And this was Juan de Plasencia.
Invento yan. Siya lang mag-isa.
Hindi rin. Kasi nga meron pa ring Sanskrit term.
Was this discussion based on the
Mahardika?
Sanskrit?
No. The finding that Mahardika was an ancient Sanskrit term comes from another writing that Dr. Salazar is quoting. So, yung iba, they cite linguistic similarities with Merdeka.
Merdeka is Malayan. Merdeka means independence. Yun yung tinawag nila nung mission to reclaim Sabah. But that is not Filipino. That is not Filipino. That is Malayan. That word, Merdeka.
I think Malayan also in the sense that it was covered during the expansion of the Srivijayan Empire. So in ancient Sanskrit kasi tsaka Old Tagalog, or what we call ancient Tagalog, was the lingua franca of supposedly both Majapahit and Srivijayan empires, at least based on whatever remaining linguistic records we have. So
now we have Sanskrit, and the other one is Merdeka from Malay, which both
may
of them
also
will go back to Sanskrit. So why
possibly.
don't we call ourselves India instead?
There's that.
Because Sanskrit comes from there.
So actually, Maharlika referred to, there were three classes in pre-colonial Philippines. According to Juan de Plasencia, there was of course the datu was the puno, the leader. So iba yon, hiniwalay niya yung puno from the rest. The other was both Maharlika and Timawa, which were of the same level in the sense that they were free men and they paid tribute to the puno or to the maginoo, to the aristocracy. So maginoo, the puno, maginoo, Timawa, Maharlika, and then the slaves.
Ano ba yung tawag natin sa slaves? Saop? Sakop? How do you call it?
Alipin.
Alipin sa Tagalog. Doon sa may Visayas at sa Mindanao, it's called sakop o saop.
Because the writer, si Juan de Plasencia, ang kanyang documentation
dito sa
Luzon, and but he also has major works on the Samar Leyte area. So pero yung documentation niya dito,
sa Malita o Spanish.
Correct. Diyan sila nag-iikot dun sa mga areas na yan. So, yung Timawa, or pagka nagbibigay sila ng tribute dun sa puno, is agricultural labor. At dito nga nanggaling yung polos y servicios. Servicios with payment of tribute. Ang Maharlika class, actually, they were the ones, there's a translation of Maharlika, which means the person who brings his ore for his lord. So, siya yung taga sagwan. So, usually yan, pagka yung lord, yung datu, maraming tauhan yan. Yung Maharlika class, they were both militarily trained at sila po yung bahagi ng parang navy nung Maginoo or nung datu. So, yun yung difference. After that, yun na nga, alipin, may aliping sa gigilid, may aliping na mamahay.
So, sociologically, why are we going back to that so that we can show that we are better than some of the people here in the Philippines? Because the trend of history and sociology in the modern times is to get away as far as we can from classification, from stratification of a society. That we will break down all the rules which put some people above others and some people below others, so that there will be so much room for avoiding discrimination and based on just class. India is the last one to come out of that. Institutionally, kasi institutionalized talaga yung caste system doon. They are still there and they are struggling to get the hell out of it. Tayo, nakaalis na tayo. Our problem now is we still have the remainder of the colonial mentality, but no longer caste system among ourselves as Filipinos. So, if you really think about it, if you want to modernize the thinking of the Filipino, you don't want to go back to a stratified system of naming or even just a system of society. Bakit? Because that will bring back all the injustices that trace back to the Spaniards.
Merong mga natu-trigger kasi certain words trigger certain things. Let's start with yung sinasabi nitong si Jet. Ang sabi niya, Maharlika, Tagalog raw yan for free men or warriors. In the Visayan language, it's Timawa, which means exactly the same. Ngayon, i-contest ko po yan. It may have evolved in some Visayan use, pero I'm actually citing a documented study by Juan de Plasencia, which was collated by William Henry Scott. And it's published under Filipino class structure in the 15th century and the 16th century, and published under Philippine Studies Volume 28. Si William Henry Scott.
Itong
si Jet,
comment. Jet, ano yung source mo yan? Can we have that so we can study that? And I don't even know why we should study this, because I think this is a useless exercise talking about Maharlika. But anyway, we are here and we're academic.
It's an academic discussion.
Sige.
It's also, kasi ang dami-daming misconceptions. May nagsasabi pa sa akin na, we are Maharlikans, we're not Filipinos.
So what we are Maharlikans?
Okay.
It's not a name. It is a class of people, the name of a class of people among Filipinos. And there are Filipinos, therefore, that are not Maharlikans. So, imagine that you go back to a discriminatory system of thinking about
system,
each other.
Actually, diba?
Why is that good to any of you people?
Okay. May nagtatanong, is this the same as the Hidalgos? Hindi si Juan de Plasencia ang nagsulat tungkol sa Hidalgos. I think it was Morga.
Si De Morga. De Morga is a faker. He's a source of fake news.
Pero si De Morga says, but he also has, mas si De Morga sa Visayas talaga. So siya yung talagang sa Marlete and
history in the Philippines.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Ang mga Hidalgos, he distinguished the class, Timawa, Maharlika, and considered the Hidalgos. Depending, ang Maharlikas, ang Hidalgos daw, were descended directly from the Maginoo. Pero ang mga Maharlika, most likely of mixed lineage. Yun yung sinasabi ni Morga. So, yun yung difference.
No, all right. All right. So, again, talking about that, why does it matter where you come from? What should matter to us is what we work for on our own, and what we achieve, and what we become, and what we are to others by our own actions, not because we were born from of parents who were once noble and now just completely dead. We are who we are today, and we should call ourselves who we are today, not go back to a time where no one of us knows, because everyone who was alive then are now completely dead. And no one can tell us what the hell happened then at their time. So we are just speculating what could have been there, and there we call it. It's like Korea. It's like South Korea.
So, well, meron kasing mga nagsasabi that so much of South Korea's history nasira nung giyera, and they painstakingly reconstructed a lot of it. Tapos yung iba hypothesized about certain aspects of
That's
their history.
That's what we are trying to do if we do this thing. We do not know what the hell Maharlika is all about, but we want to go back to it. How would we know? Everyone who was there is dead.
So, yun, well, we rely on documentation. Pero tama siya, what Awesome Attorney Ahmed is saying is that why the president, first of all, the premise is the president supposedly suggested it. But
I think he talked about it.
Well, he talked about it. There you go. Yeah. He talked about it. But he was at best half serious. Diba? He was expressing an admiration for President Marcos's suggestion. Whom President Marcos also, a lot of this is also medyo misconception. It's attributed to the president, to President Marcos, because he called his, how do you call this? His
Jabida mission.
Hindi, Imerdeka yan. Pero yung Maharlika was his group doon sa World War II.
Okay.
So he supposedly led that group, and that led to all his his recognition. Kaya nga, yun yung point nito. But there was a bill filed in the Batasan before by Eddie Ilarde, whom we met a couple of years ago. Yes. It was at the time Assemblyman Eddie Ilarde who proposed the renaming of the country from Filipinas to Maharlika. And his justification was, we should not be named after a foreigner, Prince Philip of Spain.
I agree with him.
And then he proposed nga the name Maharlika. Unfortunately, the historians disagreed. Kaya hindi po natuloy yun. Because it sparked off a very contentious debate with many historians weighing in and saying na this is the only record we have of the term Maharlika by Juan de Plasencia.
Exactly.
And there's no other documentation as to that.
My additional argument would be that it would have been timely at the time during Marcos, because he was making so many changes to the Philippines. And even if he were deposed, diba, natanggal siya, it was a new country at the time of Cory. It was a new constitution, there would have been a new name, but because Cory is an idiot, she hated everything about Marcos, and that's why she missed on that one. But it's too late now to go back to that, because there's no reason why we should be changing our name at this point where everyone is going into regionalization, forgetting about your own little country and working with others in your region, and expanding a community that understand each other without barriers of caste and class. So, and if you do that, you will have a greater enemy, the communists, because the communists will really hate so much this caste system. Lalong mong palakasin yung insurgency ng communists sa Pilipinas.
Okay. So, for those na parating nagsasabing the Philippines is this or that in its prehistory, ito yung suggestion ko po sa inyo. Do the research yourself. Kasi maraming nagsasabi na base dito sa Boxer Codex, base dito sa ganito. Hanapin nyo po kung anong nakalagay doon. So meron kasi mga YouTube videos or other writings that not necessarily vetted academic writings na medyo may
that is what I always say. When I say something on Facebook, for example, about the law, there is always a suggestion to Google it. Why? Because if you just take it from me, you will have to ask somebody else to confirm or deny or falsify what I said. But if you Googled it yourself after reading my post, you will see that it comes from a decision of the Supreme Court. And the search ends there. You don't have to ask anymore a lot of people, tama ba si Ahmed ito? Mali ba siya? When I say this and I tell you to Google it, I'm sure that in the results of your Google search, you will see either the Constitution, the law, or an opinion of the Supreme Court.
Yes.
And that is why I say that. GMG. Diba? And you do that, and let's make it a healthy practice every day.
Yes.
The way we think and the way we research. Because there is so many things, good things, that was brought upon us by this search engine kind of thing on the internet.
Yep.
It helps us a lot.
So, yun yung ano dito. So, yung mga nagsasabi na, ito documented daw. Ako, I strongly suggest that if somebody says it is documented, ask for the document.
Yeah. That's what we do.
You need to look at it also yourself. So, what we strive to do on this program is that if we're going to say something, there is documentation to that. But please, you're welcome to have a look at our sources as well. In fact, when we post on our Facebook page sa Luminous, as much as possible, ako for instance, pag kinolate ko yung balita, nandun kompleto yung mga sources ng mga yan. So you don't have to take my word for it. Go to the sources, or if you want to, Google yourself.
Yeah, and I don't like this. There is a phenomenon in the internet that when you post something, somebody else posts something that is slightly different from yours, and then they bring that post of that other guy on your wall, and kind of pit you against each other. And don't do that, because opinions are opinions, and sometimes when the other person is a friend, and we don't really have any intention of fighting each other, but we are put on the spot by this maybe well-intentioned and well-meaning people, but that is wrong. Don't do that. Don't put people on the spot.
Huwag kayong intrigero. Sa madaling sabi.
It's not nice. I can't handle it because most of the time I'm right. But, what happens when I am wrong?
Most of the time, not only am I right, but I can prove it.
Exactly.
So, yun yung point ko. But huwag niyo kaming pag-awayin. Yun yung doon. Kasi hindi siya productive eh. In fact, pag pinag-away niyo kami, lalong-lalo na pare-pareho naman kami na either magkakaibigan or generally we're on the quote-unquote same side, which is actually a very, very huge, vague term.
Which is not to say that we cannot debate. That we will not debate with TP and SAS, and which we always do. We always do. I debate with Ethel and a lot of other people. And we are friends. But we do that ourselves. Nobody else puts us in that situation where there is expected to be conflict. Yeah. There will be no conflict because we are intelligent people. If you are not one of us, go across the channel and join the others there.
So, ang dami na lumilitaw na so-called definitions ng Timawa. Okay, ganito po yun ha. If you're going to tell us different definitions, pakisabi naman yung sources ninyo. But I will tell you this. What we gave you is the 16th century definition of Timawa. Meaning, ito yung documented na Plasencia, ni na Morga, and all of that, na origins ng word. If you use it in a different way, then it is possible it has evolved. Pero kung sasabihan nyo kami na mali yung meaning namin, meron kaming pruweba na ito po yung pinanggagalingan ng aming conclusion. Kung bibigyan nyo kami ng salungat doon, then hihingin din po namin yung inyong basihan para sa conclusion ninyo. Other than the fact that linguistically, because language is dynamic, nagbabago din minsan yung mga definitions ng isang salita. Parang halimbawa, yung term na hanash, hindi naman yan Filipino, actually its origins are Japanese. Pero naging Bekinese and then nagamit natin. And now what it means is really basically parang, how do you call this? A talk. Babaw talk which doesn't really mean jargon, anything. It's jargon.
A lot of stuff. But again, so much for that. That's 30 minutes talking about
something that you can talk about among yourselves. Yes. But we gave you the basis for where this all began. Nagbabalik ang Tambayan, ang oras natin 12:31 ng tanghali.
Tambayang sa DWIZ. DWIZ! Muli nating balikan. Tambayang sa DWIZ.
tanghali, nagbabalik ang tambayan. Kasama pa rin sa himpilan, Attorney Awesome Ahmed Paglinawan.
Yes.
At ako po si Trixie Cruz Angeles. Anong sinakyan mo papunta dito?
Ito. So, binigyan ako nito kanina. Joyride.
Oh, kumusta naman? So, di ba,
This is the
pa rin
other,
sila. The
group,
other, well, actually,
ride hailing.
tatlo yan eh. Tatlo or apat.
Yung isa. Lala Moves, parang bisikleta yata yan.
Hindi. Keep forgetting the other one. Pero there
Apat
is
sila
another
nag-apply
one.
for LTFRB.
And for a very, very short while, alam mo ba yun, na ang Grab nag-activate sila ng kanilang motorcycle.
Meron silang chopper, meron silang, I think, Kalabaw at saka Kalesa yata. I'm not sure about that. But the chopper meron. Meron chopper noon. Well, parang ganun din naman. Para din silang angkas. So, and mabilis din and careful naman magmaneho. So, in other words, I think I will ride. I will use this kind of transportation for as a kind of variety in my travel kasi minsan hindi talaga feasible na magkotse, halimbawa ngayon coding. Tapos kung mag-grab ako, hindi ako aabot dito ng ganitong oras. So, nung sumakay ako, tiningnan ko yung angkas, matagal, walang malapit sa bahay. Nag-download ako nitong Joyride. After 8 minutes, tinanggap. So, 8 minutes, plus another 8 minutes, 16 minutes, nakaalis na ako. So, well, not bad. In other words, an alternative is always good for the public, for the riding
choice
public.
Is good.
Yeah. A choice is good. Because sometimes it is not really a choice but a fallback. A fallback status. Kung hindi gumana yung isa, laglag ka doon sa kabila. Which is also good. Which is always good for people. That is why I think that it should not be a policy by this government to say for good that it's not feasible to allow motorcycles as a taxi service as a public utility, as a public service offered to the public like jeepneys and taxis and all that. Kasi people need it and a lot of people actually rely on this thing because either they have konti lang pera nila or talagang nagmamadali sila, mahirapan silang magising ng maaga o matagal muna bago maligo dahil ayaw maligo hanggang sa mapilitan na lang talaga kasi kailangan lang umalis dahil malilate na and all that stuff. So maraming rason. So it is needed and it helps a lot of people and to say that this as a policy of the state na hindi ito pwedeng i-allow as a public transport is wrong. It's myopic, it's stupid and colossally stupid, I mean.
Sounds like someone you know.
Anti-modern. It is counter intelligent.
And especially if you remove it out of inis or naasar ka lang because apparently during the interview yesterday, the technical one of the members of the technical working group ang sabi, kasi dinimanda kami ng angkas, di sabi namin wala na lang. So tinanggal lahat.
Petty ang tawag dyan. Kung ganyan ka na public official, get the fuck out of your office.
Di ba?
That's what I will tell you.
So, di ba? Can you spell grave abuse of discretion? Because that's exactly what it is. It means pikon ka lang, so you deprive everybody dahil, nakanti yung ego mo? Diba? Why? Na-demanda kayo? That's not illegal. Diba? If may
you should be
isang
happy that you can explain, you can fight for your basis for your decisions. And imagine if I took you to court because you're a moron, you decided on basis of your emotions. Tingnan natin kung mangyayari sa'yo.
So, yung dito, yung what it comes down to, and that the problem with the debate is that it doesn't centralize on the main issue here. Is that there is a pilot project to determine whether public safety is sufficient to allow motorcycle taxis using app-based ride hailing. Very specific to we're not
even more
talking about
specific than that.
habal-habal
As
or
a
anything
public
like that.
utility mode of transportation.
But it's specific kasi app-based.
App-based, yeah, exactly.
Hindi
App-based.
kasi merong habal-habal. Which is
Paparahin mo,
usually,
paparahin mo.
or nakapila sila somewhere.
Yeah.
And yun yung tinatawag nga natin na contract-based. Kasi wala
contract-based
silang
yan.
wala silang company,
Hindi rin yan sila pwede
ganon.
ipagbawal.
But
But that is not the issue here. The issue here is yung app-based.
some LGUs actually regulate them. And
That's
the
okay.
LTFRB either pretends they don't exist or says that it falls under the jurisdiction of the LGU.
It is not. Neither of those
Tricycles
reasons
do
are
Tricycles kasi are under
Ang
the
tricycle,
LGU.
yes.
So, by analogy, they apply the habal-habal to that.
Which is a good solution for a problem that the national government refuses to face or to solve. It's about time that the national government, through the Congress, solve this problem or face this inevitability para umayos na, because it will be a failure of this government to see people riding motorbikes and go into accidents when that mode of transportation is not regulated by the LTFRB. I mean, it will serve the people more to regulate this now.
Because otherwise, kung hindi natin i-regulate ito, maaaring
mas dangerous.
mamamangkata pa rin sila.
Oh, yes.
And that's
It will not
allowed.
stop.
Hindi yun, that's not a motorcycle taxi service, but an individual contract of
transportation service. Yeah.
Ganun. So, walang makakapigil kasi may freedom to
Freedom of
contract
contract,
tayo.
yan.
And as long as hindi illegal yung activity, kasi hindi naman siya kumpanya, hindi naman siya nag-hold out, hindi naman siya app-based ride hailing, at
Kahit
hindi
na
siya,
app-based, pwede pa rin.
sabagay, kahit
Yeah.
na app-based or pwedeng mag-abang lang sila sa kanto, tapos mag-hold up ng sign.
Yung magpapara sa kanto, that will partake more of the nature of public service. It will be a
Public
public carriage.
utility,
Yes, kasi it's open to the public. That is the requirement. If your service is open to the public and you can't refuse the public when it hails you, public service ka. Therefore, you should be regulated by the LTFRB.
Yes.
Whereas, kung tatanungin mo, saan ka pupunta? Gusto ko ba yan o hindi? Yan yung nangongontrata, parang taxi.
Yes,
Yan ginagawa ng taxi. Kaya bawal sa kanila yan kasi they are a public service. They are a public utility. Dito naman sa kabila, hindi rin yan sila pumara kahit kanino na lang. They can actually choose kung sino ang paparahan nila. So there's the difference. It will happen anyway, kahit na i-regulate yan o hindi ng LTFRB. Now, if you want to care about the citizens, regulate mo na. Kasi, the benefit of, for example, the presumption of negligence. Kung nadisgrasya yan, pagka public utility yan, negligent agad ang presumption dyan. Pagka may nasaktan o nadisgrasya, may pasahero. O nawala yung, suffer the loss, yung tinatransport na things. Meron ka agad presumption, and this means hindi mo na kailangan i-prove na negligent yung driver, kaya kayo na-disgrasya. Pag public utility yan, na-disgrasya kayo, negligent ka kaagad driver. You will prove now that you were not negligent.
So, baliktad na.
That is the
yung
benefit
order
of this LTFRB, you morons over there. Understand what I'm saying. Okay?
Apparently, there might be kasi, as Conrad said earlier sa Karambola, there are considerations. He said it a lot less nicely. There are considerations other than sensibility.
What? Money
other than
that goes into their
the
pockets? What
average
else?
intelligence, other than logic, reason, or law.
Well, I will be their enemy when they do not regulate this and they go into interfering with contracts that use motorcycles to transport people. I will be their enemy.
Diba?
We will face each other in the Supreme Court. So stop doing that.
You need a client. Pero that is the point. That is the point here. Also, hindi naman din pwede na totally random yung mga issuances ng technical working group. Halimbawa, yung isang issuance nga nila, and this is the heart of the matter. Balik tayo dun sa totoong issue na to. Bakit tinanggalan ng technical working group yung 20,000 riders at gusto nilang ibigay dun sa ibang app-based motorcycle hailing cabs? Diba?
And then now, wala na lang daw.
Wala na lang daw.
Tapos nung prinaso ng konti ng isang senador, pwede na naman uli. What the hell?
Diba?
Napaka-arbitrary.
Napaka-random, oo. So,
grave abuse.
Exactly. So, sino dito ang nagmumukhang abusive? It's the technical working group. Maybe not even the LTFRB Kasi ang technical working group, among other things, wala silang lawyer, so hindi nila alam na hindi sila pwedeng gumawa ng rules. Tapos, later on, sinasabi nila, pwede naman namin tanggalin. Anyway, illegal naman maging motorcycle cab. Yung mga yan.
I will show you a situation where it is this angkas thing and this joyride thing will be saved and the LTFRB cannot do anything about it. Ibenta nila yung app. Lagay nila dyan sa App Store for a fee. Bayaran mo ng 500 yan. Pagka gusto mo mag-download and use the service, you pay 500 pesos or 5,000 pesos or whatever. That takes it out of the requirement or the requirement that it is offered to the public at large. It is just offered to those people who can pay. And therefore, it becomes a private contract. Now, everything that Angkas or all of these motorcycle systems will do would be legal, and LTFRB will just cry their asses off because now they look like complete morons, and that they will be blamed for all these people who will die because of the negligence of this some of the drivers of these companies.
Unregulated kasi.
There it is. I just shown you how to completely ignore you.
However, we don't really want to espouse that because nga it becomes a private
dangerous
contract.
for the
rider and the public. So, anong ginagawa dito ng technical working group? They've pushed it to the edge of unreason. Diba? Masyadong random. Mag-project tayo. Tapos, ay nina, tanggal na yung project. Anyway, illegal yan. Unang-una, that it's not even logical to say that. Because at the start of the pilot project, you knew what the law said. Now, assuming that the law is very specific na bawal ang motorcycle cabs, you agreed to the pilot project. You set up the pilot project. Now, assuming na lumalabag sa batas ang angkas and joyride and all that by setting up motorcycle cabs, complicit kayo.
Well, you will be blaming each other, but if I am asked by a company, is there a way for me to do this that completely ignores and showing some kind of finger to this LTFRB? Oh, yes, there is a way to do that, and I will tell you what it is. So you can show that finger to this office every day you like.
So yun yan. So what we're stating here simply is that we were making a case for logic and reason. And public safety as well. So yun yung issues naman pagdating sa with any transportation issue. The other also, and this is brought up, ito yung sinasabi ng mga gumagamit, yung general public. In fact, naaawa ako dun sa iba kasi nakikita ko dun sa merong mga nagpo-post na buti nga wala nang angkas, ganyan. May magpo-post dyan. Sige sir, since ayaw nyo naman pala talaga ng angkas, kayo nga maghatid sundo dun sa akin kasi nalilate ako sa trabaho, masyadong matraffic. Okay?
You just add to the frustration of the people every day when they go to work.
Without proposing a solution. Without giving them a solution for now.
Para kasi Leandro Robredo niyan.
Kasi ang sinasabi natin, may solusyon. Ang solusyon is babaguhin nga yung batas at lalagyan na ng regulatory functions yung LTFRB over something like this. Tapos magiging malinaw na kung anong standards, ano yung mga kailangan ng mga ito. But until the law is there, then diba, wala namang nagsasabing bawal yung mga individual contracts. So that's going to go on. And
well, maybe nobody realizes that because lawyers mostly would understand this, but no one else. Now I am telling everyone, even those who are not lawyers, that you can't do that.
Diba? You can.
The LTFRB can't do anything about it.
Diba? Mali nga yung technical working group. Again, because walang abogado na nag-abiso sa kanila, sabi nila, tigil na lahat yan, magiging illegal na kayo. That's not
ano ka, Kongreso? You say that
it
like
is not
you're Papa God?
Especially, yun nga, ito yung sinasabi ko, during the time that there was a pilot project, if you're citing a law that says it was illegal, that law has not been repealed, suspended, or amended. you were already violating it, tapos now sasabihin nyo, suddenly illegal na sila. Pero when you were participating in it, it wasn't illegal. That just violates every single law of logic that we can think of.
There's another explanation to that kind of actuation, and that is, idiocy, ignorance. Kaya dinadaan na lang sa bad trip ako sa inyo kaya ganito na lang.
And this is exactly what we're saying. It's totally arbitrary at bawal po yan. Lalo-lalo na pag gobyerno ka, tapos you're sitting as some kind of arbiter over whether a person will have rights
For
over something
welfare.
or not. And then whether or not we're going to get to work on time tomorrow because there is no more motorcycle cab. Diba?
I'm not saying I'm brighter than these people in the TWG.
Oh, but you are.
Because they probably are expert at something, but they are,
I
to me now, I think that
now.
only stupidity is the only thing they are experts at.
Diba?
Right now.
So, in fact, there's even no more question about whether or not this is viable. Viable siya. In fact, ang angkas nagpresenta ng data na 99.98% ang safety record nila. Kasi yung the reason for the pilot project was primarily to determine kung safe ito para sa publiko.
Going into that really isn't even relevant yet. Bakit? Because it's going to be done anyway. Kahit na may madisgrasya dyan na marami o konti lang, kung ayaw nyo i-regulate yan, it will be done by private carriage of contracts. Again, you will just have to wait. Time will show you the data of how many dead, how many are alive and going to heaven and whatever. But if you regulate it right now and do the study after that, it would be safer, far more safer than for everyone.
Exactly.
That is a very easy thing to think about. I don't know why you can't do it.
Huwag kayong makipag-away sa social media about this. Simple lang po yung facts na yan. But also, the one remaining fact is that hindi na po pinatigil for the moment yung mga motorcycle cabs. So meron pa pong angkas, meron pa pong joyride, meron pa po yung isa na hanggang ngayon hindi ko maalala yung pangalan.
Itago na lang natin sa pangalang Polisap Transport Services.
So, and they can continue operations. Pumayag po ang DOTR Secretary, si Lolo Art. Kaway-kaway naman po dyan kay Lolo Art because he gave into reason.
Yes, but caveat pa rin to the public and to the riders and to these companies, be careful. Do not bungle this entire thing. It will be for you and for the public in the end. So, do your stuff on the road. We will do our stuff on air and on Facebook and on
giving and
the
clarifying
level of thinking.
information on this matter.
Sige, we will do the fight for you and up here or down here or
at least
wherever.
for the clarifications on this matter. Hindi naman natin sinasabi na na we're always right, but we always have something to back up what we say.
What I am fighting for is the law and the rationality of order.
Logic, reason, the law. Di ba?
Yan lang.
So, in particularly, dito sa mga kaso na wala pang batas o malabo yung batas or there is a crying need for a law or a crying need for the service, then, we need to figure out a way to get through it. At yun nga yung sinasabi din ng ibang tumatangkilik dito. Sige, kahit tanggalin nyo yan in the meantime, but what are we going to do for now?
Ride motorcycles anyway.
Ang nga is, the President, naglaan po siya ng ilang bilyon para masolusyonan ang traffic dito sa Metro Manila. Pero hindi natin maaasahan yan na bukas tapos na yung problema. We know and everybody admits that because infrastructure is one of the primary reasons kung bakit ma-traffic dito, what do we do in the meantime? We have to have a solution until the problem has a more permanent answer. So yun. Maraming salamat dun sa mga nagpadala. So let me check yung mga ibang mga questions ninyo. So, or at least comments. Christian Carlo Villarasa says, magandang hikain ng CAS, Joyride, malaking tulong sa traffic at tulong sa mga public commuters na nagtatrabaho or nag-aaral. Ang problema, ginugulo at pineperahan. Wow, talagang swak na swak.
I don't know anything about that.
Maganda yung yung classic characterization niya ng problema. But the other thing I would like to point out is motorcycles have a smaller carbon footprint. Smaller footprint when it comes to traffic. You can put more motorcycles because what? How many motorcycles occupy the space of one car? diba? What more? What bigger? Ano? So it's much more efficient because you have less car or less vehicle for what you need. Yung basics lang talaga. If it's just your person and a reasonable bag, or then riding a motorcycle is more efficient.
Yeah, you don't need to pollute the environment more if you can pollute it less just to get to work.
So, yun. The other, of course, is we need other solutions. Ako, the other thing I'm really adamant about is, and pinadala na ako, we can discuss this in the coming days. Kami pa rin uupo, don't worry. And Attorney Nick will be joining us soon. Hindi pa namin alam si Boklo. But one of the things that we will be discussing also as part of advocacy is yung how do you call this? Greener means of transportation. Like, if we had bike lanes, I would take a bike or an e-bike or a scooter.
I would rather stay at home.
And we know that.
And not take bath, but just be awesome there. And I'm already doing that. Napipilitan lang ako dito talaga sa ano na to.
And we're so happy na napilitan ka.
Anyway, kuya Wen na miss kita kahapon
May kakanin ba kahapon, boss? Kahapon kasi off si boss when miss na miss namin siya the whole day. So one of that the advocacies, or yung sa New York, remember, I don't know if you remember this, it's New York in the 80s, and nauso yung inline roller skates. Rollerblades.
Well, not only
and
there.
Some of my
San
office mates and my classmates would either come to school or to work on rollerblades pag malapit-lapit lang sila. But in general, we used to use bikes. Kaya lang, ang Minnesota kasi twin campuses, and I had class in the St. Paul campus. So I'd have to take a bus. I couldn't take a bike.
Dalawa yan, di ba? St. Paul,
Minneapolis.
Two cities.
Campus.
Yeah.
So, yun. But I couldn't go to the St. Paul Ang haba, ang laki ng bridge eh. Tatawirin mo yung Mississippi River. So,
Malawak-lawak yan.
Malawak-lawak siya. So, in order to get to my class in the St. Paul campus. Pero, what I liked was that priority yung bisikleta. Priority yung lakaran. So, sana, we're hoping for a time when that becomes more of a reality here. Naalala mo Sweden, di ba?
Yeah, but hindi kasi mainit doon. In fact, it was freezing then, and walking there was kind of annoying but cool because it was a novelty.
It was freezing. Nag-snowstorm nung nagtun tayo.
It's completely annoying.
Pala, sabi ni Joby Soto. Salamat, Joby. Kasi nakalimutan ko. So, that's all the time we have for today. We'll be back tomorrow. Or Attorney Nick Nangit will be back tomorrow for Tax Wednesday. And maraming salamat sa pagtangkilik sa programang ito. Tabayanan ng susunod na programa In the Heart of Business kasama si Miss Malu Pahatisarne and Mr. Lito Gagni. Maraming salamat. See you tomorrow.
Tambayang sa DWIZ.